Hello again, I am Belanti, and I don't often use this channel for, at least exclusively, socio-political themed videos, because frankly, the reaction to that type of video gets incredibly tiresome over time because they tend to be divisive just by nature of the content, and quite frankly, that gets quite boring very quickly, usually. But one such issue did stick in my craw today, and it is related to things I often cover on this channel, gaming, for instance, in that it circles around something Twitch posted out today on their social media platforms. And before we roll into it proper, I want to sort of establish the foundation of what we're going to be talking about here, and that is the fact that trans women are women. That's what I believe. If you believe differently, that's fine. You're entitled to believe differently. I will say, though, I'm not interested in hearing your justifications about why you believe differently or why you think my belief is incorrect. Trust me, I've heard every possible variation of an argument you could possibly make. I have spent tremendous amounts of time with this subject, looking at it, hearing about it, talking about it, going back and forth. Trust me, you can't say anything I haven't heard before, and I'm not going to spend my time trying to convince you that my belief is correct, because quite frankly, I know that won't happen. The only way that your belief will change, possibly, is actually getting to know some trans people, talking to them about their experiences, getting to know them properly, and, start seeing them and listening to them as if they were, I don't know, actual human beings with emotions and feelings and thoughts and existences that are about more than what genitals they have. I also want to acknowledge that I know ideally it would be better for me to use my voice, my platform, whatever reach I have, to hold aloft the voices of trans women talking about this issue, rather than me talking from the other side of the aisle, as it were, about it. But like I said, it got stuck in my craw today, and if you've been around here long enough, you know that sometimes when something gets stuck in my head, I can't get rid of it, I can't move on, I can't do anything else with my day until I just get it off my chest, as it were. So that's what I'm doing here, but I do acknowledge that my voice on this counts for less because I'm not speaking from any personal experience on it. Now then, all of that out of the way and established, let's talk about what the issue actually is. So, this month, Twitch is doing a thing where they want to celebrate and uplift their femme creators, the women out there doing the Twitch stream stuff of, whatever genre and style of stream it is, anything from gaming to crafting to IRL stuff to whatever. They want to boost the voices of the women in the Twitch community, and ordinarily that would be a fantastic thing to do. But in their efforts to be inclusionary, they decided that the word women was too exclusionary. The women is too binary. They thought they might cop some flack for being too binary about it. So they chose womXn, which is one of the dumbest things on the planet. If you've never come across the term before, it's supposed to be more inclusive, It's supposed to be, this is women who are born women, who are coded as women, who are identified as women, as they were raised as women, and, proper women. But also, the X means the women who aren't really real women, but are dressing up like women as well. You see the problem here. Trans women are women. That's what they want to be viewed as. That's how they feel inside. That's how they identify. That's what they are. That's what they want other people to see them as. So using another term, which is kind of like a woman, but not quite a woman, just a little bit different, is inherently exclusionary and inherently mean-spirited. It is a method of othering them, which is the exact opposite of the intent of trying to be inclusive. So it became very clear very quickly that nobody on Twitch's social media team is part of the Rainbow Flag Brigade at all. They haven't talked to anybody about this because it took them 5 hours and about 44,000 angry tweets from people to finally come around and go, oh, maybe we did the wrong thing here. And their apology included sort of weaselly bullshit that you normally see from corporate handbooks, apologizing and, we're still learning, we'll try to do better, all that kind of worthless crap that is meaningless. But it is quite clear that they're talking the talk but not walking the walk. They don't have anybody from the Rainbow Alphabet Brigades in their offices to talk to about this sort of stuff. They have no representation there at all. Otherwise, someone would have brought this up, because I'm telling you right now, no trans girl I've ever spoken to wants to be called anything else but a girl or a woman. They don't want some other term to sort of mark them out as kind of, well, not really a woman, not a real woman. And this is why representation matters, both in corporate offices and social media teams and in, TV shows and movies and stuff like this. Even if trans women and lesbians and bisexuals and gays and anything else anywhere on the spectrum, even though they represent a small percentage of the population, it's important to have them, in our faces, being shoved down our throats as often as possible, because the only way to cure ignorance is with exposure to knowledge. And the best exposure to knowledge is to actually talk to these people. And, like I said before, pretend they're actual human beings. Because without people to represent, to stand up for the voices of these various minorities, they don't get heard. This has just been demonstrated. Nobody at Twitch talked to anybody about this. Nobody got heard about this. And so when they made an effort to be inclusionary, that was their intent, and the road to hell paved with good intentions, whatever, platitudinous bullshit you want to go with there. They did the exact opposite of what they were trying to do, and they were instead sort of exclusionary and hurtful and shitty and sleazy and backhanded about the whole thing. The only way to avoid making the mistakes that Twitch has been making around this issue is to simply ask. Just ask. That's all you have to do. So hopefully this has made some sort of sense. Like I said, I just needed to vomit up some opinions on this, because it was just circling, it was bouncing around inside my skull over and over and over again, and it started to frustrate me. So whether or not I even publish this video, I don't know. I probably will. It should make some amount of sense. And hopefully, I mean, if you are on the, on the side of the fence where you don't know much about the Rainbow Alphabet Brigade, and specifically the more sort of shades of grey stuff, because as you go further down the list, if you are on the sort of this cisgendered hetero side of things, ignorance of it becomes more and more of an issue to understanding it. I mean, gay guys, easy to understand. Dudes who like dick, simple. Same thing with lesbians. Chicks who like other chicks. Bisexuals even, pretty easy to understand, although talk to a bisexual sometimes, I'll have a lot of frustrated stories about being accused of being fence-sitters or not having decided yet and things like that. Or if a bisexual is in a heterosexual relationship, are they still bisexual anymore, or are they hetero? It's just talk to them sometime. You'll get an afternoon's worth of very angry stories. But after that, when you get to the trans and the asexuals and the grey sexuals and the non-binaries and everything else sort of within that wonderful, wonderful spectrum. And that's where I am, by the way, in case you're curious. For those who don't know, I'm in that latter half of the spectrum. I'm what you call a panromantic grey sexual. But my own personal revelation about my tiny little corner of that rainbow flag came relatively quite late in life. Only last year, as a matter of fact, I finally sort of found that the pigeonhole where I fit, and it put into context a lot of stuff about all of my life and all of my other relationships and how I relate to other people, romantically or sexually and things like that. And all of a sudden, a bunch of stuff, which used to be kind of frustrating and weird about my history, started to make perfect sense, given the context of new words, new descriptive words that, when I was a kid, when I was being raised, in my formative years in the 80s and 90s, these weren't words that I was taught. I wasn't exposed to. I had no access to this stuff. This is why education, this is why exposure to this stuff in this day and age is so very important. And this is why we're seeing sort of more people than ever identifying as bisexual or as trans or anything like that, because it's just the information is easier to access. People are learning earlier in life about why they feel like they feel and where they fit and what the name is for how they feel. It's not like there's like there's a big conspiracy of Hollywood generating more gays and things like that. It's just education, information. It's helping people. Went a long way off my original point, but again, hopefully for those of you who aren't knee deep in this stuff already, hopefully this has given you a little more information or sparked some interest in going to learn more about this for yourself. Because like I said, education, information, learning, conversations is the only way to start treating people like people, which is my go-to phrase. Treat people like people. I should put that on fucking t-shirts or something. Especially right now, we're having the big Mardi Gras thing in Sydney right now. So big rainbow celebration about everything that's not cis-het, basically, which is fantastic. Thanks for watching. I am Blunty. We'll catch you next time. Thanks as always to the patrons up there. And I know for a fact, several of those people are waving the rainbow flag as well. There's another one on that list who isn't, but his brother is. So I don't know why that's relevant.